Quédate en imaginación de lo que no te Quédate en imaginación.
And you will find the telegram group. I will send presents on the gift on the telegram. Okay? First of all, let me tell you about me. My name is Samir. I am successful Samir. And you? I took the first letter from my name, S, and put an adjective before my name. So, my name starts with S, so I choose an adjective that starts with the S, so successful Samir. What about you? Think of an adjective that starts with the same letter of your name, the first letter of your name. I'm hopeful head. Hopeful head. Ambition. Smart. Ambition. Ambitious. Okay. What about the others? Great. So this is a good icebreaker or a warm-up to start your session with your students with the first day of your school. Okay. What are these numbers? Can you guess what these numbers represent for me? 5 to 27. Your birthday. Which is which? 27 May. 5 for me. 5 May, no.
Date 27th? The date of your birthday on the 27th? Okay.
27 No. My 27 is my
years of
years
experience?
of experience. Okay. And it can be my age. Yeah. What about 5 and 2? 2, I think your son. No. I have no children.
2.
What's the date?
So 2 is, I have been graduate from 2 faculties, Faculty of Arts and Faculty of Education. So I have 2 faculties, okay, graduated from 2 faculties, and 5 is the day of my birthday. Okay. As I told you, I am a teacher of English, and I'm a master degree holder. I earned the TOT from trainer of teachers from British Council and National Institutes. I earned a felt certificate from the UC. So this has a special part in my heart. Okay. In 2013, I took the TAT exam and the many TOEFL with my professor, Dr. Muhammad. I'm honored that he is attending to me today. In 2019, I earned the TOEFL International Certificate. 2020, I became a Rio mentor trainer and Microsoft innovative expert educator. From 2020 till now, I have earned many titles as the Qaddam teacher Egypt from the British Council for the year 2018-2021. And I also became a teacher educator for the program Teach, Engage, inspired by the British Council for the year 2022-2023, and I'm external reviewer for 3 university institutions. I have attended many conferences like or checked the four key purposes of exit tickets: how to check understanding, how to spark reflection, how to hear your students' voice, and plan smarter, okay? And how to design your exit tickets, analyze it, and all the challenges that can come to you, and how we can overcome all these challenges. First of all, let me ask you, what is exit ticket? Can you guess what is, if we are going to define exit tickets, what can we guess?
In education meaning, I think it's the past and feedback.
It's a quick assessment to make sure that what's covered in today's class has been achieved by the student.
Yes, it's a kind of assessment. It's a quick assessment that teachers use to make it to check the students' understanding, okay? About if they have learned today's objective or today's lesson or not. And they provide immediate feedback on the spot to the teachers. And they promote reflective thinking for the students to sit and say, what have I learned today? What is my strength points? What I need to focus on? So, exit tickets is for both the teachers and the students. The students make reflection about his learning process, and the teacher see if he is going on the right way, or he has to change his instructions or change his plan or what. So, theoretical grounding, why exit tickets work. Let's see. As we said, it's a formative assessment. Exit tickets help teachers understand what students know while learning is in process, not just at the end. So we don't stand or stay till the end of the lesson to see what is happening. You have to, while you are teaching the lesson, you have to give them a short assessment to check their understanding, to see if you are going to change your way or keep on the same track. According to the constructivist theory, it is well-crafted executive tickets help learners build knowledge by connecting new information to existing mental framework. So the students are connected what they have learned, their previous knowledge, with what they are taking today. Okay, they are making connection. According to the meta-cognition, exit tickets promote thinking about one's own thinking, enhancing self-awareness and learning structure. As I told the logs. So I asked the students what? Example, what stuck with you today? What stuck with you today? So I'm asking them to recall and memorize what they have learned. What stuck with you today? Okay? Summarize the lesson in one sentence. I'm asking them to recall what they have understood. Listen can use the rating scales. It's very easy. From 1 to scale from 1 to 5, they certainly their understanding from 1 to 5, or by giving them images. You can use the traffic light system, and I will explain it later in the next slides. You can do the summaries. You can ask them to tweet the lesson in one sentence on Twitter, for example, or Google summaries. This is the tweet that the lesson chapter says. Google summarize, you can use a visual. You know the mind maps, okay? So they can summarize the lesson as a mind map. It is very helpful for the visual learners, okay? You can use polls like, which activity today helped you learn the most?
خايفة ما كنتش
Asking
شغالة
them
مفيش
for
أرقام.
their preference, okay, what they prepare. What tools, what helped them to learn more? The group discussion or the video or the practice problem. So I'm giving them choices here,
عشان هاد
so
فيش.
I can create the next lesson plans according to their
بس طريقة
favorite
طريقة
okay?
طريقة
One word summarize. I can ask them to give me one powerful word that summarizes today's lesson. Okay? So it is very simple. Basically, it's very simple. Just one word. Okay? If you don't have time. In one word, describe today's lesson on photosynthesis, for example, or any subject. Okay? Think, pair, share. We can use the technique or the strategy, think, pair, share. I asked them for think about the one connection between today's lesson and the previous one.
هذيك لا هي يظهر كرجل صح.
Individually, then they pair or share what they have reflected with the partner, then say it loud. Okay? All like us. Sentence questions for executives. You can ask them what was the main concept you learned today? Or
كراسي
Do we have
كراسي
challenges
كانت باينة.
or pitfalls that while we are using the exit ticket? Yes. One of them is failure response.
هذا
Don't
اللي
often provide generic or surface level feedback. What do you think this could be solved? This challenge. How can we solve this challenge? How can we solve it? If they give me surface. Yeah.
Maybe try to ask more questions or that will access.
Excellent, perfect, very great answer. By giving them prompts or the starter of the sentence that they can continue. Okay, if you said that they are not giving details or
جيبي لنفسك
the answer that you want. Use specific prompts that require the details or provide
عملت كده.
sentence stop. What
أنا
about
ماشي بس بيعد ما عدش عني بيعد
or
طب
if
لا
you
تمام
felt that they feel bored,
ممكن
how can we solve this problem?
طبعا
They feel what?
Bored.
Bored. Maybe variety of
تمام
I'm talking about the exiting. If they felt bored about the exiting.
variety of types.
Excellent. Use a variety of types. You said that. Don't stick to one type. You have a question?
Yeah, I have an answer. If they are not really encouraged to actually try to do the exit, maybe you will try to give them instead of like 6 o'clock or different varieties. You can encourage them to actually do it on their own way, not to stick with the exit ticket maybe 5 and try to do it their own way.
You can find this while you are collecting the response. You see this while you are, each teacher can do whatever he wants according to the response that he gets. So rotate between 5 to 7 different formats throughout the week. So if today I give them a question, tomorrow I'm going to give them a scale, after tomorrow I'm going to give them a drawing, and so on. Don't stick to one type of exercise. You can incorporate digital tools and gamification efforts, okay, like Padlet or showing impact. If students don't see how the feedback influences instruction, how can we do or solve this problem?
Address it like the next day, say, I noticed so and so is doing on the math has talked about this morning. Make sure that you feel like there's reward.
Yes. You have to show them the next day that you have read their response and you are acting, making action towards it. Okay? I read that someone wrote blah 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 and it is important. Let's check. There is a misconception in this point. Whatever. So we have to analyze their research. Let them feel that what they have written are read and is important to the teacher. Okay? By giving a comment on it the next day. Okay. We said that from the challenges they rush or do surface answers, limit class time, you won't have time, teachers find it challenging. So we have overcome this by modeling. Give them model for the Excel ticket or the answers, okay? And telling them that it is the exhibits are opportunity for learning rather than assessing them. As I told you, analyzing is very important. You have to review the response and comment, and leave comments on it and about the misconceptions and the errors that you have found. Use data to differentiate instructions for individual or group needs. Keep tracking each student and make a portfolio to see if he is making progress or not. Using exit ticket for differentiation. You know, any international schools are dealing nowadays with differentiation. You have to address all types of learning or learners in your lesson plan, not a specific student. You have to address the visual student, the auditory student, the kinesthetic student, and so on, the musical student, and so on, all types. So it helps the teacher to take insights about their future plans for the upcoming lessons, and it provides support for the teachers who struggle by checking the report for each and see what these students struggle with, give them extra work, help them. And what about the students who are gifted? So I give them extra activities. Okay? So I help the people who struggle and give extra material for the gifted students. Creative ways to use exit tickets. We said that we can use visual prompts, sketches, diagrams. You can ask the students to create a journal, a notebook for themselves to write their reflections or portfolio. And ask them to give feedback to each others while they are working in pairs or in groups. So, best practice for teachers, you have to review your exit tickets, update your questions based on the student's response, share exit tickets results with them in the next day, keep the progress engaging by variety of exit tickets, not repeating yourself every day. Align the exit ticket with today's objective. Inform your future lesson planning. Use it to inform. So we have finished today's lesson. What do you think the next lesson will be about? A family of exit tickets. So you are informing your future lesson. Okay? And of course you can, as I told you, address the recalling or the critical thinking. Examples of the exit tickets, you can ask them, summarize today's lesson in 3 sentences. What is one question you still have about today's topic? give actions according to what you have read, and ask them to share their ideas. So, who can tell me to wrap this lesson? What are the takes?
Process to check students understanding the lesson.
Yes, and the teacher's way of teaching. Yes,
Should be brief,
short,
simple or clear.
simple,
And
maximum 3 questions. Okay?
use different types of questions.
Excellent. They give instant feedback, encourage reflection for both teacher and student, prompt, promote critical thinking, engage all learners, only certain students, and inform teacher.
I have a question here. After checking the exit, you find only one student that are
So this is from the problems that we have discussed. One student is struggling, so you have to give an extra work for him and change the way of teaching. Take him after the lesson aside and then reteach the lesson again. Okay? So all these, one of the lists, you will see all these are techniques that you can use for the ticket. Let's discuss the first one. $3. What's $3? Write a summary of today's lesson where each word is worth 10 cents. You only have $3 or 30 words to spend. So the students are going to summarize the whole lesson in 30 words. Okay? This is called $3. 3 to 1 reflection. What is the 3 to 1 reflection? 3 things I understand, 2 things I need to practice, 1 question I have. Okay? Traffic light check. Okay? Green means I fully understand, blah, blah, blah. Don't bother yourself. One of the gifts that I'm going to give you my presentation. Okay? I fully understand. Green means I fully understand, blah, blah, blah. Yellow, I'm not sure about certain point. Red means I need help in. Okay? So, when I see this, do I read and neglect it? No, I have to take action with this student. Not to do the job and say, I did my exit. No, you have to take action. Rate your understanding. On a scale from 1 to 5, how confident do you feel about today's lesson? And we have to circle the feeling. Explain it to a child. Imagine or explain today's lesson to a 10-year-old child. How would you explain it in the simplest way possible so they would understand? Okay? We have my moment. What's one powerful piece of information or idea or quote from today's lesson they really stood out of you or surprised? Light bulb and through a light bulb and write down your biggest aha, okay, moment from the lesson, or the stop sign when something that still confuses you. Post-it take aways. Okay? You can give them sticky notes or a paper, and on one side they can write the takeaway from the lesson, and the other side they can write a question that they still have. Obstacle course, presentation and
finish. من غير فينش.
the presentation and I will give a certificate for those attendees. They will join my Telegram group and take the presentation, and there is an online session if you want to join about ice breaking and ideas about ice breaking, how to break the ice on the first day of your school.
هتديها انت اديتها انت صار نعمل فينش هيصور
So did you scan?
يعني
This is my information. Okay. This is how can you find me on my LinkedIn, on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, my email, my phone number, and everything.